So, like coming to my profile. So currently, I'm working with the product-based company, like a healthcare company, and here I have been working with like more than 7 years, and uh, and also like I am providing the online training and offline training with the ACT Training Institute from the Chennai. And also so as of now, I completed 6 batches, and also I will work with the students flexible timings, morning 6 to 8 are their based on their timings. And also so the scope of the demo is the basic idea about the data center. So what data center is, like how data center will work and why. Because as a storage administrator, this is highly important to understand the data center, because lot of storage appliances and servers and network devices are we can manage from the data center, because where we can keep all the devices which are highly available, so 24/7 support available, and we need to maintain some infrastructure in this center. And the fundamentals about the storage vendors and how NetApp is different means, generally, like in the market, there are different vendors will provide the storage, like EMC storage, NetApp storage, and Dell storage, Hitachi storage. Like that, there are Pure storage and Silk storage. Like different vendors are there. But why we choose NetApp means, because NetApp is highly very fast growing, and it is very fastly collaborating with the cloud, which are in the like a future transit. And also we can get the support at any time from the vendor. And if you just make a call, or you can log the case, then whatever the hardware issues or software issues, whatever the happening in the infrastructure, so they will send the engineering team, or they will support virtually, so they can resolve our issues within uh, like uh, time stipulated SLS. And also how NetApp is different means, NetApp will support both unified storage. Unified is nothing but, so it will support both SAN and NAS. So why we require SAN and NAS? Nothing but, so in our infrastructure, there are different types of clients are available, like Windows clients and Linux clients, and some kind of like Unix flavors. Unix flavors is nothing but Lineage, AX, Solaris, and some Mac OS, like that. So if we want to present the storage to the Windows machines, so we need to choose some protocol. And if we want to present storage to like Linux flavors, so we need to choose some kind of protocol. And if you want to raw disk to deploy some application like database applications or some HANA applications, SAP applications, like that, so we need to choose the like SAN based protocols like ISKC and FCP protocols, like that. Then how NetApp is collaborating with the cloud means, so generally there are different product, like different services with AWS and Azure file server, and AWS FSx. These are all the different products from the NetApp. So that is fastly collaborating with the AWS and all to provide the cloud support. And also like NetApp cloud volume based also. So we no need to buy any hardware appliances. Just we need to pay the service based like license, and how much data we will use, how much appliances we will use, how much resources we can use for our infrastructure, so we can pay for them, like that. So we don't need to buy any hardware, like that. So that kind of flexibility also available from the NetApp. So that's why it is fast growing into the different sectors. Then, like the course outline regarding this NetApp administration, generally the basic administration of NetApp is, we can manage this NetApp in two ways, like CLI based and console based and GUI based. So here 70% of the operations we can manage through CLI, and 30% we can manage through GUI. And also so the basic administration of NetApp is, like here there are different components available in this NetApp. First one is aggregate. Aggregate is nothing but Like it is a logical pool, storage pool. So where we can keep all the physical hard drives into the one pool. So that pool we can call it as a aggregate. So we can call it as a logical pool. Then on top of the logical pool, we need to install the we need to configure the storage virtual machine. Storage virtual machine or vServer. We can call it as a vServer or storage virtual machine. Why we require storage vServer means, so here we want to virtualize any kind of resources from the hardware. So you need to configure the storage software component called vServer. So without this vServer, you can't able to proceed for any further configurations like that. Then again, in this SVM, there are different types of vServers like admin vServer, node vServer, data vServer, system vServer like that. So the purpose of each vServer is a different purpose. And if you want to present storage to the vendors, we need to choose the data vServer for the provisioning of the storage. Then protocols, coming to the protocols. So NAS protocol. In this NAS protocol, it is purely supported to the Windows machines. So if you want to provisioning storage to the Windows server, like different versions of Windows servers, we need to choose the two types of protocols in the NAS. So those two protocols are SNBR, CFS. So CFS is nothing but common internet file system or SMB, like the server message block like that. So one protocol, CFS protocol. Again, this CFS will support different types of file systems like NTFS and Unix-based file systems like that. So whichever the client required, based on their requirement, we can choose the protocols as well as the file systems. Then coming to the SAN protocol. So here the SAN protocols are purely based on the a fiber channel environment. So compared with the NAS, SAN is highly protected and highly easy to manage and we less secure in the NAS and more security for the user data in the SAN environment. And most of the database applications use the SAN protocols only to deploy their databases in this storage. And here in the SAN protocol, there are again two types of protocols are available: ISCSI protocol and FCP protocol and NP protocol like that. So ISCSI is limited infrastructure, within the infrastructure, 200 kilometers distance, we can choose the ISCSI protocol for provisioning the storage. Like if it is unlimited distance, we need to go for FCP protocol for the provisioning. Then coming to the ONTAP upgrade. So here in this, like NetApp will work in the background like modified Linux versions. So modified Linux versions are nothing but they're continuously releasing the patches and versions. So the ONTAP will supported from the 8 dot version, like ONTAP 8 version. After that, gradually they modified some based on the requirements. They modified the operating system versions, and the current version is now ONTAP 9.14.1 P4 something like that. So continuously it is patching like the patches are releasing from the vendor, and whenever we have some issue with our infrastructure, so we need to choose our which version is going to support. So just we can walk through the hardware universe portal. So from that hardware universe portal, you need to select the hardware appliance, then model of the hardware, then you need to select the type of version, which version is maximum supported and minimum supported by that hardware model. So based on that hardware model, we need to select the ONTAP version to upgrade to keep our storage up to date. So we need to go through the hardware units portal. Then if you want to present storage to the various operating system clients, so like before presenting the storage to the users, which type of storage they require, whether they require CFS share or NFS share or like a lens or Qtree, whatever their requirement. So based on their requirement, we can select our protocol and like administrative systems and security features. So based on the requirement, if it is like a Windows machine, we can go with the CFS share, and and if it is like for Linux mission, Linux flavors, we need to go with the NFS protocol. So in the NAS again, it is NFS protocol. Right? So NFS protocol we can select in that NFS protocol. We need to select the export policies. Inside that export policy, we need to create the rules. So like that, we can keep all the devices, how many devices they require NFS share. So we can make them all the servers into the same single client match. So that all the servers which are like mentioned in the client match, all the servers can easily like identify the storage via NFS share like that. And if it is like a SAN protocol, first we need to do configure some like joining stuff in the switch level, like broadcast switch or Cisco switch level. So first we need to communicate with the DC team, like data center team, to do the cabling between the servers and the storage. In medium is like a brocade or like a Cisco medium. So we ask them to make the cabling from that. Once they completed the cabling between the devices, then we can log in if we have the login access to the uh, storage, like switch team, so generally as a storage administrator, we have the access to the all the switches also. And in some environment they can't provide the access to the switch with the like a separate team like SAN fiber channel team. So they will do the zoning and all from the storage to client like that. Then after that, we can start working with the provisioning of the storage like that. So all this content we will work with this protocols and upgrades. Then some additional topics like aggregates. Already we discussed about it. It's a logical pool where all the physical drives we can keep it for increasing the capacity, rack capacity. Then volumes. Volumes are nothing but it is a logical partition on top of the aggregates. Like the minimum size of the volume size is we can create up to minimum 20 MB volume. That is minimum. Maximum that depends on the hardware model, like 4 petabytes, something like that. Then queue trees. Queue trees are nothing but a special subdirectories which will create on top of our volume. So this is different qts are based on the user quota requirement. So we can present quotas to the different user, like one user required only 5 GB, and some user require 10 GB, 15 GB like that. So we can manage using the qt quotas like that for each and every user. And all these qts we will configure on top of the volumes only. The hierarchy is like that. So aggregate first, on top of the aggregate, we will create a volume. On top of this volume, we will create queue trees. And if they need LUNs instead of queue trees like that. So if it is a SAN environment, we need to build the LUNs on top of the volume like that. Then there are some additional important networking components called storage virtual machine. It is a software component. With this SVM only, we can manage all those things like volumes, queue trees, LANs, interfaces, everything we can manage through vServer. Without vServer, SVM, we can't manage anything like that. So then the next component is LIF, logical interface. So why we can call it as a logical interface? Because there are some physical ports available for the appliances, like physical ports, network ports, or SAN ports, SAS ports, like there are different ports available in the controller. So on top of the physical port, we should configure one interface. So that interface associated with one IP address like that. So for single port, we can create multiple logical interfaces with multiple IP addresses, multiple networks. So that is possible through vServer, like SVM, storage virtual machine. Then broadcast domain. So if you want to configure the storage failover configuration, so we need to choose the broadcast domain. Then if group, it is nothing but like if you want to redundancy at port level, in the hardware level, so you need to choose the if group configuration. Then if you want to allow various subnets, various networking on top of the single physical interface, like in a single port, so then you need to go for like VLAN configuration. Then different types of protocols already I explained, and so replication. So here the replications are nothing but generally NetApp will support. There are two types of replication: synchronous replication and asynchronous replication. So here generally they will use replication for DR purpose like disaster recovery purpose or some backup purposes like that. So suppose they want to replicate data from suppose Hyderabad location to some US or Canada or something like that. So they need to choose this kind of replication like Snap Mirror or Snap or like that. And on top upgrade, already I discussed on top upgrade about the OS and BMC and the service processor firmware. So here on top is different and BS is different. So BMC or SP is nothing but a kernel version. So as part of this ONTAP upgrade, so we need to like a compatibility check we can with the BMC or SP service processor versions also, because without this upgrading BMC, we can't go for ONTAP upgrade. So first, what we need to do, we need to upgrade BMC to the latest supported version, which is compatible to the like a target ONTAP version. Then only we can proceed for the ONTAP version. But here in this BMC or SP firmware upgrades, so there is no downtime required. But if you come to the ONTAP upgrade, even here at business level, we don't have the downtime, but in the HFA level, in the cluster level, one node will like whichever the node is upgrading at the time that node will take the report. So it will take some time to bring up. So at the time, whenever the nodes are going to rebooting during the ONTAP upgrades or during the maintenance time, so all the lifts, whatever the lifts are configured in the network level, all the lifts can be migrated to the one node to another node by using broadcast domain or if group, whatever it is. So the storage failover will happening in the HA configuration through broadcast domain like that. Okay. So and also like additional resources, course resources available from the mysupport.netapp.com. So and also like a community.netapp.com, and so also like we can provide online offline training, and there are a lot of documentation available in the NetApp portal, and also like the LinkedIn portal also we have the learning courses available, and some like online like Udemy portals also we can get some courses. The projects and use cases like so NetApp supports like multiple support environment and healthcare environment and product care based environment like that. So here the backend storage support to various OS clients. So that is our primary role, and we can 24/7 support to the clients at any time with the different financial sectors, banking sectors, and some healthcare institutions like that. Then we can easily manage the storage using GUI and CLI administrative access. And by using HA connectivity, that means between the nodes, we can do the like a cabling for inter-cluster communication. By using that, we can maintain the business continuity without any downtime, okay, without any latency. So by using these codes, so we will cover 100% certification eligibility. Uh, those the candidates who are going to attempt for the NCDA course and NCAE course like that. So by using this course, they can able to get the answer for within this like they can support L2 or L3 level maximum. They will touch L2, L3 level also by using this course. And so lab setup. So here the prerequisites for the lab setup is, so there is like high speed internet required, and like Windows desktop or laptop also we can able to configure our lab. And the minimum system requirement for configuring these, so it should be more than Windows 7 version. Okay. And the minimum hard disk size is 500 GB like SSD or SATA, and the minimum memory capacity should be the 16 GB PS like that, and minimum four core CPU processor required to set up the lab like that. Then software access. So generally, it is a free access online from the lab and demand. So so from the lab and demand, there is a special portal for the NetApp clients, not for the everyone. So the clients who are the users, the customers who are accessing the NetApp products, those users only having the free access for the software, like how many labs are available in this portal. So first they can try to work with that portal, lab and demand portal. So they will try to configure the lab and they will test the lab environment. Then only they will go for the real environment like that. So here we can do the lab setup like this. Then, so after completing the courses, then there are few questions, internal questions. Here I mentioned like what is SVM, because SVM is nothing but it is a storage virtual machine. It is a core component, like part of the storage. Because by use like compare with the sound mode and C mode NetApp, so here this virtual machine will virtualize the resources from the hardware where all the physical component like physical ports and physical resources like the CPU, memory, whatever it is. So to virtualize those resources, we need to configure the storage virtual machine. So that is the important to know about the SVM. Then broadcast domain. Because we are working with the cluster every day. In the cluster, we are connecting the nodes in the HA connectivity. Then how storage failover will happen? That means what happened, how storage will fail over to one node to another node within the cluster like that. So by using network level broadcast domain configuration. So the lifts can be migrated from one node to another node that is controlled by the broadcast domain. So who will control the lift migration in the storage file level? Broadcast domain. That means broadcast domain know that. So if one node goes down or one port down, then which port that lift can be migrated to. Okay, so like that. So based on the broadcast domain configuration, broadcast domain can decide, hey, my port went down or my node went down. So you can go to some other port, some node like that. So broadcast domain can decide that. So we should know that about the broadcast domain. Then how can I describe this NAS and SAN protocol? So already we discussed about right the difference between NAS and SAN because it is a unified storage. NetApp is a unified storage. It will support both NAS and SAN environment. Suppose we can keep 24 nodes in the cluster. That means 12 HFS in the cluster to scale out the storage. And in the 24, maximum 24 nodes in the cluster, so the first 8 node or 12 nodes will support, that depends on the hardware model. The first 12 nodes will support both unified storage, NAS and SAN. Then after 12 HPF, it will support only NAS environment like that. So that is what you need to know the difference between the NAS and SAN. And here in the NAS, it is less protected than the SAN because here dedicated network we can use in the NAS, we can use only IP-based network. So mm, there are some chances to attack the viruses like that in the NAS protocol. Even you saw that some kind of ransomware attack recently in some banking sector, in some healthcare sectors like that. So they are using NAS protocols, so that's why they affected. And if it is like a SAN environment, we don't bother about the security because it is a highly secure infrastructure. Then how to pull the performance metrics from the clusters. Like generally, NetApp will provide different tools to manage the performance of the clusters, like arrays. So here, storage ActiveIQ. ActiveIQ is the tool to manage the performance of the and where once we configure the ActiveIQ on top of your Windows system or VM, we can configure on top of any virtual machine. So you need to register that cluster name with that VM, then automatically it will pull the metrics from the cluster and it will keep it for 90 days because in the ActiveIQ, so there is a backend supported by the SQL database. That's why it will maintain the metrics for 90 days backup like that. So if you want to know the 90, 80, 85 days, 80 days before that also, what happened in the storage during that time. So you should know the performance of that storage by using active IQ tools like that. And also like Grafana, it will support the Grafana performance monitoring tool, and Jenkins, like different types of jobs running in the Jenkins like that, Grafana, Prometheus, what are the performance tools available in the market, all the things you need, you can use for the performance metrics collections like that. Then procedure for ONTAP. So first we need to work with the server team, which version is compatible for them. Then so based on their compatibility, we need to go for investigate on the hardware units portal. From that hardware units portal, you need to select that version and you need to do some pre-checks. And after, once the pre-checks completed successfully, then you can download the image from the support.netapp.com, and you can put that image, downloaded image, to your local repository or FTP server or HTTP server. Then you can bring that image to your cluster. Then you can start upgrading via GUI or CLI like that. So the procedure here on top upgrade procedure is a little complicated because it is simple, but you need to understand a lot of things in the background. Because once you completed all those pre-checks and post-checks, then only you can go for the ONTAP installation like that. So these are all some basic interview questions.